focused? All right. Audio testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that seems to be good. How are we looking? Okay, good. Hey, welcome to another episode of Chronicles of a Modern Day Samurai. Your Zeus here. Your host here, Zeus. I'm actually working with a pretty cool device. It's called the Rodecaster Pro 2. I'll show you guys real quick. It's a pretty nifty device. A little more advanced than I think I need, but it helps capture really good sound. And so the mic is hooked up to this Rodecaster Pro, and then I've got my Sony A7 hooked up to a wide-angle lens, and I've got a little what do they call that? Spotlight? Yeah, so that kind of illuminates. And then the background is just my living room. So that's my studio. I'll probably do a tour of my studio in the future, maybe not. But yeah, that's my little setup here. I'm super excited for today's episode because I've had friends and family, not so much family, well, friends of friends, and a lot of people around us just having this issue. And I don't think it's a new issue, and you guys know the title by now. But it's if you're looking for true love, if you're looking for a meaningful relationship, then this will help. Is it guaranteed to help? No. Just like any of my videos, I do put a disclaimer out there to say results may vary, and what you put in is usually what you get out. So if you do all these things that I'll be going over today, your chances will increase of finding true love, which we all want to do. And if you don't, then you'll be in the situation you are now. So I'm guessing you're watching this because you're either in a position where you're single, or you've gotten out of a relationship, or you're in a relationship looking for another relationship. I don't know. But you're unhappy one way or another. And I hope that this video, again, I'm not adding disclaimers to disclaimers. I'm not qualified enough to offer professional advice as far as medical or psychological. I'm not a therapist. However, I am a dude. And I've been on the other side. So this video is not only for the female audience, it is applicable to everyone. However, a few of these things that I'm going to go over are more or less, just tailored towards my female audience. So, and I probably might get a lot of shit. I might be getting kicked out of the dudes club, right, for giving away these secrets. But who cares? If it makes you happy and it helps in your life to achieve happiness, who the fuck cares? I don't care about any club. It's just like that. I used to be like, when I was 16, I used to be really into magic. But then this show came out where it says like magic's revealed, right? And then the asshole magician goes against everything he promised as a magician to, and then reveals on this like syndicated TV show how all the magic is done. So it's kind of one of those things like you have more fun not knowing, but it's more fun to know it. And that's just how I am. So I'm spilling the beans here. I'm giving away dude secrets. So if you're a girl, stay tuned to the end of this episode because there's a lot of information here that most guys don't tell you, and I will. And if it means that's going to help you become happier, more joyful, live a better life, then whatever. Then that's the whole point. So I'll be going over, I've got some notes here so I don't forget. So if I look down, then that's why I'm doing it. But I've got here about 14, maybe one more. But I've got some main points here that I think will help you immensely in finding true love. So let's start. Number 1, self-improvement. Now, this is the foundation of everything, okay? Not just finding true love, not being a better professional, not having more advancements in career, everything. This is the jumping off point. This is the concrete foundation for building a house. Whatever other analogy you want to use, this is everything, and everything should be built on this. If you don't work on self-improvement, it's like building a house of cards. You can build it tall, you can build it wide, but inevitably it will come down. So you have to have a good base. That base is self-improvement. That may come in the form of many different things. This podcast, for example, is a great example. You're listening in order to improve yourself, in order to become a better human being, in order to become more sound, more confident, more happy, more, confident. I already said that. So personal growth is important. Now, that may come in the form of reading or writing, seminars, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. If you're learning and advancing and feeling like you're growing from it, then that's all that really matters. It's about becoming a better person today than you were yesterday. And as long as you're making incremental improvements, that's really all that matters. You don't need to make leaps and bounds. So that's what's important. So do something towards self-improvement. This podcast is a great example of one, and congratulations. One of my favorite sayings regarding self-improvement and dating, as it relates more specifically, is to become the person that you want to date yourself. Okay, I'll say that again. Become the person that you want to date yourself. Okay, I'll give you an example. And again, I'm not putting myself here on a pedestal. I've gone through all this. I've gone through the challenges and the mental headaches and the heartbreaks. I've been through all that. And so I'm sharing this in hopes that you don't have to, or you may need to, but I'm just sharing it so you're aware. And I think awareness is important. So again, be the person that you want to date. So if you're out there, for example, if you're out there and you're a weekend warrior, you're working hard, Monday through Friday, Friday rolls around and you're getting hammered at the bar, blitz with your friends, and then you come home Friday night, Saturday night, you're hungover Sunday, and you're weeping with a jar of ice cream and Netflix, and you're wondering well, where have all the nice guys gone? Where are those wholesome guys that you see in the movies, or you see your friends with? They're all gone. They're all taken by other girls, right? It's not true. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break your sweetheart here, but it's not true. Those people, even if they were in front of you, even if they were out Friday night, Saturday night, even if that person was a colleague of yours at work, you wouldn't even recognize it. Why? Because those people who are good guys, right? Good guys, a good head on their shoulder, good career, just focused, whatever you're looking for, that wholesome guy is going to see that version of you that was out on Friday, just getting shit-faced and hammered, making a fool of yourself. Now, I know I'm going towards the extreme here. Not all of you do that. There may be a spectrum of, mildly intoxicated versus completely inebriated. How do you say that? Drunk. And so that person might be out, your dream guy, and he sees that. Now, what part of that, if the tables were turned, okay, would you be attracted to? No, not going to work, okay? I consider myself, again, not putting myself on a pedestal here, I considered myself even, before being married, a wholesome guy, Again, not that drinking is bad. You can drink responsibly. But I'd go out, not drink. I'd take care of people. And most would, consider myself, kind of the wholesome guy, right? So from my perspective, if I'm single and in the market to find someone, and I did see someone like that, it is such a turnoff, girls. It is such a turnoff, okay? So you can't act one way and expect the other, okay? I'm kind of jumping ahead here because we will be talking about expectations. But again, you can't be that girl at the party, okay? Wanting all the attention, hooting and hollering, and then expect on Sunday for your dream guy to give you a call or a text. It's just not going to happen, okay? You're probably end up at home or at night or in bed with that version of you. I hate to say it, So there's going to be some F-boy out there who's going to see that and be like, that's what I'm taking home, okay? So if you find yourself in a lot of one-night situations, if that's what you want, good for you. If that's what you want, good for you. Then go out and get that, This video is not for you, okay? This video is if you're looking for, again, true love, to settle down with a good guy, etc., okay? So I think you get my point. Number 2. Law of attraction. Now, we're not talking about law of chasing Okay. That's what most of you guys do. Chase and chase and chase and chase. Now, a lot of our parents met this way. It's very romantic, right? Usually the father, the guy, chases our mother, the girl, until, they say no, they say no, they say no. And then they finally say yes. And then 30 years later, boom, we're here. Okay. It happens and it's very romantic. However, it's more or less in movies. It occurs in movies mostly, and it happened 40 to 50 years ago. Nowadays, you want to be on practicing the law of attraction, okay, not chasing. If you ever try, I'm not a cat person. If you ever try to catch a cat, it's impossible because they're too fast. If you were to have a treat, something that the cat wanted, how easy is it? Very easy, right? They come to you. So you want to practice the law of attraction. Okay, you don't want to chase people that you are into. There's nothing from a guy's perspective. It really, there's this really superficial, numbering system. Oh, she's a 8, she's a 10, she's a 12, right? Or if she's a 4, you really lose a couple points. You really shave off a couple points. I'd say maybe 1.5, 2 points if you chase. Okay, so don't chase. We talked about the number one, the law of or self-improvement, okay? Use self-improvement. Become a better person. Become a more interesting, more funny, more intelligent person, and you will attract the type of person you want to date. Number 3, you can't give what you don't have. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're insecure, if you're not happy, if you're poor, if you're broke, if you're X, Y, and Z, go down the list of stuff you don't have, okay? You can look at your list now. You can make your list, which I would encourage you to do. If you don't have those things and you want it, don't go out looking for a guy that has those things in order to fix it. Your relationship should not fix personal problems. And I know a lot of people out there, myself included in the past, have done this. So I'm not, again, putting myself on a pedestal or making myself sound like any exception to this rule. If you're lacking those things, through self-improvement, you should obtain it, you should grow, you should learn, and then attract the people that you want to attract. You cannot use or try to find someone or a relationship to fix those issues. It just doesn't work. It'll exacerbate those issues. So if you have issues now that you do not want or like, address them now before going out to the market to try to find the person that's going to help. If you're expecting those things to fix themselves to a relationship, it's just not going to work. Number 4, define values and your non-negotiables. Okay. You really have to sit down and think about this. These are your fundamentals. These are things that are on your top 1, 2, or 3 things of non-negotiables. And I say non-negotiables in terms of if that thing comes up, whatever it may be. For me, my non-negotiable, unfortunately, was drinking. Now, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole of why I don't drink, and there's a reason for it. I had a father who drank a little bit too much growing up, read between the lines. And so I made a conscious decision that this was not going to be a part of my life and my relationship. It just is. Again, not to say that you can't drink responsibly. I know a lot of you guys out there do, which is fantastic. And I'm not against that at all. If you drink responsibly, that's fine. And you meet someone who also likes to drink responsibly, that's fine. It's two consenting adults, right? That's going to be upon the two individuals to decide. I, however, again, personally, had drinking as my non-negotiable. Just me. It doesn't have to be you. Now, your list will differ ultimately from someone else's, from your friends. That just happened to be mine. So that was a non-negotiable for my relationship that I was looking for, and that should be something that you don't negotiate with yourself. I'll repeat that. You don't negotiate non-negotiables with yourself as well. That means if you're out and you meet the hottest dude, there are 12, I did 13 out of 10, and they possess a characteristic, an attribute about them that is on your non-negotiable. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean, oh my God, they're so hot and I can kind of get over this. No, stop. Your non-negotiables are non-negotiable to you as well. Do not negotiate on them. Hold steadfast on what you decide. If you decide that your non-negotiables are, well, kind of on the fence, then that's your decision to make. However, usually they're not. For me, I've done it again, and I said, wow, she's very attractive. My non-negotiable is that there's no drinking involved. She drinks, a little bit on the weekends, that's fine. And I compromised. And you guys can kind of guess what happened. So it didn't work out. Again, not to say that responsible drinking can't happen, but it's just my personal decision, okay? Prioritize what matters to you. Now, everyone has a different list of priorities in their life. If you have a family, then you prioritize your family, your kids, whatever, your wife, your spouse. If you're single, which I'm guessing most of you guys are, your priorities are gonna be a lot different. It may be your career, they may be your significant other, they may be your dog. I don't know, your priority is different. So really, I would recommend you actually writing down your list of priorities and then highlight the probably one or two or three items that are not non-negotiables. The things you highlight that are non-negotiables, as I mentioned before, are things you don't negotiate with yourself either. The rest of the things on your priority list may be things that you can maybe look past a little bit, okay? So yeah, have that list of priorities and list them in order of what's most important at the top to what's least important, okay? If fitness, for example, is on top of your list, that a guy must be fit and have an active lifestyle, that may be a non-negotiable for you. Or it could just be on your list and it's on your things that you would like for them to have. So you really have to define your priority list pretty clearly. The next thing too is having that list, perhaps physically in front of you, provides clarity. Now, why are some people confused or end up making the wrong decision? Or maybe just, lackadaisical about making decisions or unsure about making decisions. Human beings don't make decisions for a number of different reasons, but mostly because of fear, correct? If you go out and you're looking for a car and you don't know enough about that car and this greasy little used car salesman tries to sell you something, why don't you make a decision? You know you want that car, but you're unsure. There's an element, there's a part of you that fears making the wrong decision. So what do? You end up not making a decision. How does this relate to relationships? If you're unsure about your priorities, if you're unsure about your list of expectations, and you're unsure about yourself and what you want, you're not going to make a decision. We often say these people are afraid of commitment, right? Could be a number of things. All right, number 5, as corny as this is going to sound, be available for love. Now, what does that mean? Be approachable. If you look in the mirror and you have a resting bitch face, then try to work on it. I had what they call blue steel. I don't even remember that Ben Stiller movie. I forgot the name of it. But it was that modeling movie where he just, he had that kind of really blue steel face. That was me when I was a teenager. I had so much ego and testosterone in my body that I didn't smile. I wasn't very approachable. I had to literally learn how to smile in photos because this is what I would look like in every photo. Yeah, I would clench the jaw to make myself look more masculine, more serious. Ridiculous. Yeah, but 16, whatever, right? I'm 38 now. Give me a break. So be more approachable. If you notice, if anyone has ever said, hey, you've got a resting bitch face, you probably do. So look in the mirror and practice smiling. I think it takes less muscles in your face to smile than to frown. So it should actually be easier, but you got to practice. So if you have a resting bitch face or you're not very approachable, then work on it. These are things that you can work on. Smile, relax. So be more approachable. Now, there is a law of probability that I want to talk about, okay? If you put yourself out there more, the likelihood that you're going to meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right are going to increase. It's just math. If you are coming home Friday after work, you're grabbing a beer or two or a glass of wine, and you sit in front of the TV for the next 6 hours. And then on Saturday, you may go out of the house one day or one time and to walk your dog, and that's it. What are the odds that you're going to meet Mr. Right? Walking your dog? Maybe. Probably not. So get yourself out there and give yourself the opportunity for these things to happen. And they're not going to happen on their own. Now, you could be swiping, yeah, and be setting up dates. Yeah, I mean, it is 2023. It does happen. I think a staggering number of relationships happen now online through Tinder or Bumble or whatever other apps are out there. But there's really nothing, man, it just feels good, like when you're out and maybe at a work function and maybe at a social event, maybe at a dinner. And sitting across is, wow, someone that's stunning. That's exciting, so go after and make yourself available for those opportunities to have that excitement in life again, If you find yourself being a homebody, then what I'm saying is go out. And it doesn't have to be every weekend. It could just be once a month or twice a month, every other weekend, whatever it is. But find ways to get out there and make yourself available to the world. Don't be a hermit. Number six, however you want to do it. Number 6, cultivate genuine relationships. Cultivate genuine relationships. You don't have to be, now, I will say this. If you have 1 million followers on Instagram, it does not mean you have genuine relationships. You may, but you don't. What I mean by genuine relationships are people in your inner circle. Now, these are people that, they always say, if you end up in a jail in Mexico, who would you call? These are those folks that you would call if you end up in a jail in Mexico. And it's not just okay to have these people around for when you need them. We've all received those kind of phone calls before, right? When you get phone calls and they need something, it's the most annoying fucking thing. If you're out there right now and you do this, or you've done this, well, I guess we've all done it to a certain extent. So I take that back. If you're doing this on a consistent basis and you find yourself doing this, stop. It's really fucking annoying. And these people are not your real friends. And if they are, they're not gonna be for very long. So stop calling people when you need stuff. If you call them periodically to say, hey, Joe, how's life? How are the kids? How's the dog? How's that new job? If you do that, then still asking for something is not okay, but it makes it a lot more appropriate. And, we've all been on the receiving end of those phone calls. It's not fun. You're just kind of waiting and say, okay, what does this guy or girl want? It's really annoying. So don't do it. However, if you nurture and you really try to work on those existing relationships, then those phone calls might be okay. And as it relates to relationships, those people might have people in their inner circle themselves who might have a great catch. But do you think they'll recommend you? They'll say, hey, Susie over here has a great catch. She's single, she's looking. Probably they won't. So nurture genuine relationships. If you have people in your inner circle that love you, they're your biggest fans. So, and they have their own inner circle. If you think about it, okay, if you have, let's say, I would say what? I mean, how many close best friends would the average person have? I don't know, 3? Okay, that's a really conservative number. Let's say 5. Let's average those 2 and let's say 4. Let's say you have 4 really close friends on average. Those 4 people probably know, I don't know. I mean, in terms of people they know in total, probably a lot. I don't know. Let's say 25 to 30 per person. That's what's my math? 150 people, give or take. Out of those 150 people, those 5 people know. Do you think Mr. Right might be in that 150? It's better chances than you calculating your own inner circle. So leverage. Maybe not leverage either. You get what I mean. Allow those people that love you, that are fans of you, to be out on the hunt for you as well. Now, I'm not saying they're out every weekend as your personal assistant in finding love, But these people know. I mean, if you're close enough to them, and they'll know what you're up to. And if they know that you're in the market, and you're preparing yourself mentally, physically, spiritually to be in a committed relationship, they're gonna know, because you're cultivating a genuine relationship. And when they see or meet someone that are a great catch themselves, they are probably more likely to make the introduction. Now, if you're an asshole or a bitch, or you're calling every time you need something, you're probably not going to get that introduction. So just food for thought. Number 7, number 7. Okay, be authentic, be you. Now, shit, this is probably the most cliche thing I could probably say on this podcast. Be you. Here's the great news. And I'm going to just bring a lot of joy to people right now listening. There's no better person than you at being you. If you're Susie Johnson, who in this world is better than being Susie Johnson than Susie Johnson? I don't know Susie Johnson, but I'm just saying. She's the best at who she is. And no one else, no actor, no comedian, nobody is better than who she is. She could be a very introverted, music-loving, reading, just a phenomenal, quiet person. Yeah, that's who she is. That's lovable. She's quirky. You don't have to be this person, this movie star figure all the time. I think through social media, we have a tendency to put that as our holy grail of who we need to be, whether it's physically, we got to look like that person, or we got to look like that girl, or be as skinny or be as muscular as that person. But the truth is, you really have to love who you are. And if you don't love yourself the way you are physically, then work towards whatever you want. I'm not saying you have to settle, but what I'm saying is you should be authentic. You should be you. Because someone is going to love the fact that you're quirky versus, whatever else. They're going to love the fact that you're more of a quiet, more intentional person than someone who's out there just saying jokes and, just making a fool of themselves. There's someone for everyone. So you can relax. You don't need to be someone else. You don't need to be that Instagram influencer. Be yourself. Be your fucking self. It's who you are. And there's someone who's going to be there that's going to love you for who you are. If you're not yourself and you're trying to pretend to be someone else, whether it's an actor, an actress, a model, or a movie star, or influencer, for one, the truth will come out, and you can't play that role long enough to withhold the entirety of a good relationship, for one. And secondly, you're going to end up unhappy because that's just not who you are. How long are you going to wear the mask? The mask has got to come off. So be yourself. It's easy to do, but also it's not, especially in today's world where there's so much social media pressure, to be this and that and to have this and that. I mean, I'm fucking guilty of myself. I want, I talk about a Lamborghini probably every other day. I can go out and buy it, but I don't, because it's not the responsible thing to do right now. I've got another kid on the way. But I will eventually. But, for me, since I'm bringing up the Lamborghini, it's not, when I was young, and I don't know if you guys remember, if you grew up in the States, the school would send you home this little brochure of shit you can buy. And then you would convince your family, friends to buy it. And then you would collect points. And then, I don't know, you get stuff. I would always buy the posters, the car posters. And I remember a Lamborghini, it was either a Diablo or a Countach on my wall. If you can find old photos of my room, it was only cars. I didn't have football players or basketball players. I only had cars. So for me in life, the Lamborghini is my personal representation of, hey, I made it. And I'm a big car enthusiast. I could probably tell you 23 different unique facts about a Lamborghini Huracan or, a LaFerrari than most people. So that's it. So I know we're going off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's who I am, okay? If you enjoy those things genuinely, that's who you are. But if you're doing it for the wrong reason, if you're doing it to impress people, then it's not you. And again, be you. You're the best person. You're the best version of you. And there's no one out there in the universe that is better at being you than you. So relax and be yourself. Number 8, ocho, pal. Pal is 8 in Korean. Be forthcoming. Now, what do I mean by that? Be clear with your intentions. Most people like to play this game, right? And to be honest with you, I've done pretty well. I used to be single and I was really, really advanced at this game. It is a game after all. And what do you do with games? The more you play, the better you get. But ultimately, it is a game. What do they say? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I won a lot of fucking stupid prizes. A lot of stupid fucking prizes. I'll tell you that. Why? Because I play a lot of stupid games. If you're there right now listening to this or watching this and you're playing games, you have someone you met that's not texting or that's not calling, and you're playing these stupid fucking games, guess what? You're going to win stupid prizes. If you want to meet someone, call them and say, hey, are you free today? Let's meet. I want to hang out. I like you. Be forthcoming. Most people, I can't tell you how underestimated honesty is in working towards a good relationship. People want to play this game. Oh, should I text them? Should I not? Should I wait? What's the rule? I got to wait 3 hours. I can't text right away. It means I'm desperate. Holy shit, people. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You know what the stupid prize in this situation is? A stupid dude. You're gonna end up with a stupid guy who also likes playing games, who likes making you feel insecure. Not just guys, dudes. You're gonna get a stupid prize of a stupid girl that's gonna make you feel insecure, that's gonna make you feel stupid, that's gonna make you feel like you're obsessive. If you are, then you are. But if you're not, and she makes you feel this way, you want a stupid prize. Congratulations. So if you're genuine and you're frank and you're forthcoming and you're honest, then guess what? You're going to get that in return. So don't play stupid games, folks. You'll win stupid prizes. Number 9. 99999. That sounded German. No, I don't mean no in German. I mean number 9. Number 9 is patience. Now, guys, this is a long-term game. Whether you listen to this and implore what I'm telling you tomorrow, today, a month from now, there's no guarantees that you're going to find someone right away. I'll just put it out there. It may happen in a week. It may happen in 2 months. It may happen in 2 years. There's no telling. However, you do have to play to win. So you have to do these things consistently. It may get exhausting, but if they become a fabric of who you become intrinsically and to your DNA, this stuff is not hard. And this stuff will carry on into a relationship when you find the person, and it will pay off dividends. So you're not losing out by making yourself aware of these things and making yourself better. Give people a chance, right? You're not going to meet everyone. Everyone you meet is not going to be Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect, but you have to go out and try. It's important to know what you want out of a relationship, out of a career, out of most things. It's important. That's what we're trying to figure out, right? We're trying to figure out, we're skating through life and we're trying to figure out what do we want in life? What makes us happy? But guess what? In search of those things that we like and we want, you'll find out things you don't like. That is equally, in my opinion, as important of a life lesson than figuring out what you do like. But you have to give them a chance. So if you're out there, someone asks you for a date, they tick off or check off most of what you're looking for, go out on the date and see, okay, maybe the date didn't go so well, but now you know what you don't want. And that's equally important in my eyes, okay? You will get better over time. And this is a quality and quantity thing, right? Just by doing more, sometimes you get better. So I'm not encouraging you to go out on a date every day, but go out if you're single, put yourself out there, and eventually you'll get better and you'll get smarter. You'll get more precise and being able to identify these priority issues, these red flags. You'll just get better at it. I mean, it's like anything else. If you want to learn something, let's say you want to learn tennis. I've never wanted to learn tennis, but I could probably play tennis. But if you wanted to play tennis, what would you do? You would start from the basics. And the more you just play tennis, the likelihood of you getting better will go up. It's no different in dating. Actually, it's more probably applicable in dating. The more dates you go on, the more you put yourself out there, the better you become. So put yourself out there, go out there into the universe and allow for those opportunities to come your way. Number 10, set realistic expectations. Expectations are so important, people. If you don't have the right expectations, it is like skating on ice, thin ice. You can skate for a while, you just don't know when you're going down. So when you set the expectations, you're kind of drawing out a map and saying, okay, this is what we have. This is kind of what I expect. What do you expect? You're laying out kind of the foundation for the relationship. Now, this would always apply, of course, if you're in a relationship, but this is also applicable if you're in the market and dating. If you're looking to date, then that's what you need to say. It needs to come up in the first probably 1 or 2 dates that, hey, I'm looking for something more serious. If you're not, and you're looking for a fuck buddy, if you're looking for a friend with benefits, if you're looking for a good time, if you're looking for, you name it, listen, that's okay. This is the world we live in, okay? But if you don't set that expectation up front, that's when it becomes problematic. That's when you see people that are a month or 2 months or 3 months into a relationship, and then things aren't working. He's not committed. He doesn't want to hang out. He's not texting. He's not this. He's not that. Well, guess what? It's probably because the expectations weren't set. You guys didn't sit down and have, I guess they would call it, an old, I don't know if this term's still around, but, define the relationship. Most people are very, uncomfortable about having define the relationship. DTR, the DTR talk, right? It's more important to have it straight up. If you're dating someone and someone brings up the define the relationship topic, and it's your second date, for me, again, this might differ from person to person. I like that because it sets, again, our boundaries very clear. What is that you want? Let's say, for example, one person wants a friends with benefits and the other person wants something more exclusive and they didn't sit down and talk about it. Do you think that's going to cause issues? If the dude is just showing up at 11:30 on a Tuesday night for a booty call, yet you want to cuddle until 3 o'clock the next day and go have brunch and he doesn't want to, do you think the expectations are aligned? No, they're not. Conversely, if you had someone that wanted a booty call, wanted a friends with benefits, and you talked about it and say, hey, listen, I am not in the market. I'm not in a place in my life where I want a committed relationship. I just want to have fun. That's what I want. And then the girl says, great. That's all I want too. I don't want a committed relationship. They're probably going to have a much better time together than someone who did not have the DTR relationship talk. So I would encourage you, as uncomfortable as it may be. Now, you might be in fear that having that talk or bringing that talk up might push them away. And if it does, goodbye. Goodbye. If you want a committed relationship, yet the other person wants a booty call, goodbye. Go out and look for something else. There's a term here, guys, that I think most people are fully aware of, or they don't keep in the back of their mind. And the term is opportunity cost. Have you guys heard of opportunity cost? The dangers of saying, you know what, he's too good looking, I'm going to keep him around. I know he wants a booty call, but eventually I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to flip him into someone who wants a relationship. I know a lot of you guys out there right now are trying to do that. The opportunity cost of you clinging on to something like that or someone like that who you know has a different interest in the relationship than you do are grave. And here's why. You may last another 6 months. You may last another year clinging on to someone who wants what you don't want. Or maybe you want something that they don't want. The opportunity cost means this, that by doing that, you're giving up what you could have. So again, if you're with that person that you know isn't the one for you, for 6 months, you could have spent that 6 months out in the market finding someone that does want what you want, that does want to settle down, that does want kids, that does want to get married, that does want whatever you want. So that's what you're losing out on. Most people don't see it that way. So they continue to hold on and wishful thinking. Hey, he's a nice guy. He's great in bed. Maybe he'll come around to wanting kids, or maybe he'll come around to being committed. Guess what? Well, I don't know what to say, right? I mean, you could turn, what is that saying? I mean, it's probably really derogatory. I probably shouldn't say it, but you could turn a hoe into a housewife, but you can't turn a housewife into a hoe. I think that's, it is applicable. I mean, as inappropriate as that sounds. But you get what I'm saying. You can't turn someone into something they don't want. Okay, they're going to be unhappy. And if they fake it, again, they're going to be unhappy, and it's going to unravel eventually. So think about that concept, guys. Opportunity cost. Your cost of holding on to someone who you know that doesn't want what you want. Okay, there's a grave consequence for that, which means that you could be out there and have spent that same 6 months looking for someone that does fit you, that will make you happy, that you will be happy with, that does want kids, family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Number 11, be a good communicator. Now, when you think good communicator, what do you think? Close your eyes and think, good communicator. You're probably thinking, I don't know, Tony Robbins, good public speaker, motivating, inspirational, right? All this stuff comes to mind. Wrong. What's the most important part of communication? Communication means this, and it's very simply broken down. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but who the fuck cares? Communication means your ability to be able to deliver a message and receive a message from another human being. That's communication. A lot of communication happens what? Non-verbally. Like me, I'm not Italian, but I do a lot of stuff with my hands. I'm very pronounced. Some people aren't. That's okay. But in order to be a good communicator, and I just gave it away, in order to be a good communicator, guys, you have to be a masterful, almost, listener. The best communicators are the best listeners. The best communicators are also and equally the best question askers. Is that even a fucking word? You got to ask great questions. So between listening and asking great questions, that is how you become a great communicator, which is such an important aspect of being in a great relationship. Great communication. You've heard it before. Good relationships require great communication and trust. That's probably the number 1, 2 in things that a sound and sturdy relationship need. Communication and trust. I'm telling you how to be a good communicator. It doesn't mean that you shout very well or you win every argument. Well, guess what? If you win every argument, you're a really shitty communicator. You shouldn't be winning every argument. You should be asking great questions, and you should be able to listen. Listening means shutting your mouth, shutting down whatever preconceived notions you have about what occurred, and really listening. Listening is different from hearing. Hearing means that the words are literally being registered, hitting your earlobes, and your brain is like, it's sending off some signal. That's listening, or that's hearing. Listening means that the words that are coming into your brain are registering. So again, big difference, guys, between listening and hearing. You don't want to hear other people. You want to listen. Again, listen and ask the right questions. If you find yourself in a conversation for an hour, let's say, and you're getting ready to get to know this person, and you listen half the time and you ask questions the other half the time, guess what that person going home and saying, hey, how was the meeting? How was the coffee break? They're going to say, oh my God, I had the most incredible time. He was the best. It was the best experience. Even though they may not know anything about you. You gave them an opportunity to explain and to share and to talk. People love to talk about themselves. So if you want to have a great relationship, this has to go both ways. Both of you guys need to understand how to listen and how to ask great questions. That is a great conversation. That is a great way to build a sturdy relationship. And that's how you find great people. Number 12, we're almost getting to the end of the list here, guys. Number 12, be comfortable with being alone. Can you go to a movie by yourself? Can you go out to dinner by yourself? Can you go on a trip by yourself? If the answer is, oh man, I could, but I just don't want to. Why not? I'll bring a girlfriend. Why not? I'll bring my best friend. Why not? It'll be more fun. I mean, why would I go alone? Man, guys, if you haven't before, and if the thought of doing something like that, having dinner, going to a movie, a weekend trip to Paris, whatever it is, if you find that nerve-wracking to do on your own, you've got some stuff to work on. This is an important part of being comfortable with yourself. This is an important part of self-development, is the ability to not be alone always. I mean, you shouldn't be alone always. But if you are, to find comfort in it. You're okay doing that. And I think that is a huge thing that people miss out on. What ends up happening is you may be in a relationship now, or you may be in between relationships. You may have just gotten out of a relationship. And what is a natural thing to do? What is the path of least resistance is for you to go out on your phone or wherever to go out looking for something else. Now, you might be out there trying to rebound, which again, if you have those physical needs, that's fine. But when you meet someone, set those expectations. Say, hey, listen, I just got out of a relationship. I'm just looking for a good time, looking for a rebound. Is that what you want? And if they do, good for you. Get it in as much as you can. But if you're not, and you're a relationship type person and you want to be in a relationship, then you really need to give yourself time in between, I would say. Again, I can't put a number on it. I'm not going to tell you, give yourself a month or 3 months or 6 months, but give yourself ample time to really start to feel comfortable within yourself. Again, you notice a lot of these concepts don't happen outside of your sphere. They happen more internally. So learn to become comfortable with yourself. Force yourself to go out and have dinner in a busy restaurant on a Friday night. Now, you may feel uncomfortable. Like, oh my God, people are staring at me. Everyone's like, they're coupled up. They're in a big group of friends. It's going to feel uncomfortable. I guarantee you. I promise you. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you'll get. It's a quantity and quality kind of issue. The more you do it, the better you'll get. The increase in quantity, the better the quality. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be very uncomfortable, actually, in the beginning. But I personally have learned to do this over time. I've backpacked alone for a cumulative probably 3 or 4 years. And there'd be times where I spent over a week, maybe 10 days alone on a train. And the yearning for like communication and with contact was immense. We're social beings. We want that interaction. But it's okay to go the other way and explore that part of yourself to see how far you can push it, see how comfortable you can get on your own. And then when you have that level of comfort and then you get into a relationship where you're not completely dependent on the other person, you become a better partner in life, in a relationship, and in general. So I would encourage you guys to force yourself to put yourself in positions where you have to be alone and you find yourself comfortable being alone. Not that you have to. I'm not telling you to be a loner, but I'm saying to grow as a human being, as an individual, to be comfortable alone. It's a very powerful thing, guys. And if the thought of being alone, again, out at a movie or to a dinner alone, makes you uncomfortable, then this will be a great exercise for you. Number 13, don't be under the influence when you're meeting new people. I know it's easy. It's the social lubricant, right? A lot of you guys, again, I mentioned it before, social and responsible drinking, guys, there's nothing wrong with it. Anything can be done. I'm not condoning drug use, but if you're a recreational drug use and you do it in the comfort of your home, you're not hurting anyone, I'm all for it, okay? Of course, making sure it's legal, make sure you're within, you're not hurting anyone else, but as long as you're not, I'm all for it. Same thing with drinking. If you're not out, acting belligerent, or if you're not out drinking and driving, it's okay. But I would recommend that if you really find someone, or if you've identified someone that you really want to get to know, I would encourage you to do it without the influence of alcohol or drugs. When you're under the influence of whatever you're under the influence of, it's not really them. I mean, it's Johnny with, 6 beers inside him. And that's going to be a really different person than who he is actually when he's sober. So again, simple rule, but if you're getting ready to meet someone, or if you're wanting to get to know someone a little bit better, I know it's going to be easy to grab a cocktail or two to kind of ease the mood, but maybe on the second or third date, try doing something that doesn't involve alcohol or drugs. And I think you'll find it much more profound that, you get to actually know who they are. Finally, last but not least, number 14. Number 14. Oh, you're going to love this number 14. This number 14 is for you ladies out there. Not so much you guys, because you guys are animals. Just kidding. No, this is for the lady audience, okay? So, wait to have sex. Wait to have sex. Okay. Mention what I said earlier, okay? If you want that. If what you want is a hookup, if what you want is sex, that is okay. I'm putting it on the record. If you want sex, Zeus Kang is saying it's okay. If you communicate that, you set the expectations straightforward with your partner, that's what they want, go for it. Get it in and have fun, guys. However, if you're looking for a committed relationship, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, again, I'm a dude. I was single. I played the game. I played the game very well. And I know how this works. So if you're dating and you've gone on, if you've done the one night stand, this, it's a little too late. However, it may not be too late. I'm not saying it's over, but if you've met someone or you're moving forward and you're in the market, this is really sound advice. And I find that I'm having to give this advice to a lot of my friends who are in the market and single and looking, and they almost always get disappointed because they don't follow the simple rule. I'm not going to put a number on it, so I'm not saying wait for the second or third or fourth or fifth date to have sex, but I would definitely hold out the first couple. And the reason being is because guys are savages. Guys are dogs. And I'm not throwing guys under a bus. So sorry, I'm not doing that, guys. Don't worry. I am saying, however, guys are guys. Most guys are what you consider guys. And it is in our DNA to want to have sex and as much of it as possible. Newsflash, okay? I hope I'm not saying anything that is surprisingly or alarming people out there, okay? I mean, this isn't exactly news. But if you really like someone, you should follow everything that I mentioned before as far as setting expectations, being authentic, looking for those red flags. But if you're wanting a long-term relationship and this seems like the guy for you, wait to have sex. Wait till you feel right. Wait till you feel like he's actually looking for a long-term relationship. What happens is, if you like a guy, oh my God, I'm smitten. Like we went on the first couple of dates and it was great. He tried to, he's probably going to want to try to put a move. And the thing is, you don't know yet. If you have sex before you know that this guy wants a long-term relationship and he wants a committed relationship, oh man, you just kind of giving it away. I'm not saying hold it hostage, and I'm not saying put it on a pedestal. I mean, because that's equally not right. But what I'm saying is, hold off a little bit. And until you feel in your stomach, until you feel that every part of you feels right to do it. Again, if you want to have sex and that's your thing, go for it. But if you're looking for a committed relationship, I would just recommend trying to hold off on the sex. Now, guys are going to fucking hate me for saying this because I'm kind of giving away the cards, but it's going to help a lot of women and a lot of girls out there from having extremely broken hearts and being confused. So I'm going to put an average out there. Maybe 3 guys or girls, 3 or 4, wait till the 5th date to have sex. I think that'll reveal a lot. Because for one, if you are dating an asshole who's really good at acting, you're going to flush them out. Because those assholes, and I've unfortunately have come across a couple in my lifetime, are going to wait out probably for 1 or 2 dates. And if they try to pull a move and you say no, and they try to pull a move and they say no, they're probably going to move on. Guess what? You just dodged a huge bullet. by waiting until the second or third or fourth date to not have sex, you've dodged a gigantic bullet. If this guy's still around after the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth date, and not having sex is okay, there it is. He may not be Mr. Right. He may not be your future husband, but you're far, far, far ahead of a lot of your friends that are out there banging their way through life, trying to find Mr. Right. So, all right, we went through the list here. It was quite an exhaustive list here, but we got through it. I probably missed a couple. I probably missed a bunch of important, helpful facts to help you women out there and guys. So if you could think of anything that has helped you in your life, and you're a veteran like I am, and you're old and you've been through it all, comment down below. I would love to hear kind of what you said, and we can kind of converse on the next podcast about, what we think. But thank you. I hope this podcast helps. If you're out there and you're in the dating world, I'm so sorry. But no, make the best of it. And again, I think by following these couple of rules will really help a lot of people out there with saving a lot of heartache. Again, these aren't hard and fast rules, but I hope that they could help you, save a little bit of a headache. And and I threw in a couple guy secrets. So I hope you're thankful for that. Sorry for the guys. And good luck dating. Good luck dating. I'm happily married. I've got kids. And so I can share this without any biases, right? I mean, I'm not out there in the market myself. So I hope you guys happiness. I hope you guys are finding and looking for what you guys are looking for. And at the end of the day, we all do everything to become more happy. So be nice to each other. And until next time, guys.